Hello everyone, just a trigger warning for this episode. We are discussing A Man Called Ove, and there is some discussion of suicide in this episode.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Reading Room Ruffians. This is a podcast for all things library related. Today we are going to discuss upcoming programs, which mainly right now is MiniCon, and we are also going to deep dive into the Battle of the Books winner, A Man Called Ove, or Ove, if you didn't listen to it. So my name is Mallory, and I am joined by Carla, our director, Ariel, my coworker and best friend, and then also we have Zach joining us from Seattle. Big time, big fancy. We are a group of librarians from Jackson County, West Virginia, excluding Zach. Sorry, you're not in the cool club, but we do allow you here, so you're welcome.
Oh well. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, I guess we can start with MiniCon. It's April 22nd, and it lasts for, 6 hours, 12 to 6. And we are currently in the building phase of MiniCon, and we're very, very close to the, oh my god, we're not done with everything we need phase, which we hit every year.
Every single year. That will be next week.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so let's see. MiniCon this year is the multiverse, but we're not doing like Marvel multiverse because, well, literary worlds are better. So we have a few different literary worlds. Mine is Studio Ghibli, which, if you don't know what that is, it's like Howl's Moving Castle, My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, all those cute little animated movies that you can get. Let's see, I'm currently building Calcifer and his little stove. I just finished Porco Rosso's plane yesterday, and I'm almost done with my first backdrop. So, when do y'all want to talk about your world?
I do have my really fast RPG mystery.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool, though.
That's pretty in-depth. Yeah, I'm glad I started that last year. Oh, my world is The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to try to do a Blue Beetle. I mean, I will, but I'm not building the whole thing. Just about half of the car, the front half, which is important, I guess, for pictures. But my backdrop is going to be Harry and Butters riding Sue the T-Rex. If you have not read the series, that's probably
it's one of
my favorite. Yeah, and that one is actually
spoilers.
Why is that a spoiler? There's just a T-Rex. That's not a spoiler.
There's no context.
You don't know what's going to happen.
We didn't say what book it was in.
I did, yeah.
Oh, did you say which book? I didn't hear you say the title.
Yeah. Maybe he talked over me, so we might be good there. But my world is basically going to be set up as you go into Harry's basement where he does most of his potions, and he has his best friend, Bob the Skull, who is his essentially magical Google. Only way better, in my opinion. And you're going to start off by seeing a letter from Harry saying that he is away and needs to solve a case ASAP. They're going to finish it for him after making some potions and going on the run. It's going to be kind of like a really fast, pre-planned RPG. So what they roll is what happens that I've determined already. But it'll be pretty good.
Okay, my world is The Discworld by Terry Pratchett. It is one of my favorite series of books, like I talked about last week. And I wanted it to include as much as possible, so I'm a little bit of an overachiever on this. And I've got myself dug into this nice pit that I've got to work my way out of. Bill will be there, who is Death, one of my favorite characters, and the Death of Rats. We will have Horace the Cheese and the Knack And for some crazy reason, I decided that I needed 20 Knack-Mack Beagles. And I haven't got my first one done yet.
And you're putting them all throughout the library.
Yeah,
You're
that's the scavenger hunt.
I was
That's
going to say, you're not just
hunt.
staying in your world.
No, that's one of the games they'll do. And Horace will supervise the cheese roll. I'm going to get little baby Bellas, and I have a Hot Wheels track, and they're going to have to roll down and land in a bucket.
Just so everyone knows, Horace is cheese.
Yes.
He's like kind of sentient.
Yes.
Sentient cheese.
And the Knock Beagles adopted him. They also have their toad lawyer with them, too. There will be references to going postal, because we'll have a book of stamps from Ankh-Morpork. There will be part of the uniform of the Night Watch from Guard's Guard. Let's see, what else have I got? Oh, the librarian, yeah. And he's on a stack of books. So I've got to get his little wizard hat done. I don't have it. Oh, the luggage with all of its little feet. I've got to do the feet, but the rest of it's done. I have a lot of things like partially done, but nothing completely finished, including my backdrops, which will be the chalk with the witches, and the other one will be Oovuh with the elephants and the Discworld flying through space.
Yeah, I want way more in depth. I feel like I need to talk about my world.
I have dragons, too, from the Guard's Guard. That's the other game. It'll be Feed the Dragons. You have to wear oven mitts and feed the dragon sausages. And I'm going to try to get some pepperoni rolls so I can have Dibbler's meat pies so people can have.
Okay, well, we're going to talk more about my world. I just went way in depth. Okay, so besides Porco Rosso's plane, I also made Haku, who's a river spirit from Spirited Away. I've made soot sprites and forest spirits. Soot sprites are kind of from Spirited Away, but they're also in My Neighbor Totoro, so they're kind of like throughout various movies. Oh, I'm going to make the cat bus and Totoro, and I'm making a big Totoro. Like, he's going to be at least as tall as me, and I'm 5'2", so he's going to be big. And I have to make a giant meadow and put a bunch of little things in there because they're going to have a scavenger hunt, and that's from the Secret World of Ariel. And Ariel is kind of like what you would imagine Thumbelina or the Borrowers would be. They're very tiny, and they borrow things from the people that they live underneath their house from. So, like, she has, I think, a straight pin as a sword, and they use fish hooks as grappling hooks. Like, it's just great. And then my backdrops are, one's Castle in the Sky, but that's the one I'm almost finished with. And then my other one is the Forest Spirit from Princess Mononoke. So it's going to be good. I think we're going to have a lot of stuff. And I think my game was to catch a soot sprite, but I don't remember. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I can't remember. But I do have the soot sprites done, so if that's my game, then I'm set there.
We also have other staff members doing Doctor Who, Sword Art Online, and Savannah's
Genshin Impact.
Okay. So there'll be a lot of different worlds and a lot of different fun things to do. So we hope to see everybody come out and enjoy it. It's all free.
Yes, all free, and it is always such a great time. It is so fun. It's very stressful for us, but we love it every single year. It's worth it.
It's always great.
Just a little note here that this is in 2023, so if you're listening to this in the far future times, you can't come.
You can come to our ones in the far future times, too. They just won't be the same theme.
Yeah,
it won't be 2023.
They won't. Zach, have you ever come to one of our mini cons? You have, haven't you?
I think I did. Like, it was, 2 years ago?
You judged the costume contest.
I did. I can't remember which year that was, though.
Was it 2019 that we did Space and
I think it was 2019.
Okay, so 4 years ago, whatever. You know, time flies when you're in a pandemic.
For sure. And we have the Ghostbusters that usually come, and we're having Outer Rim Praxian come do lightsaber training this time. We have Final Fusion belly dancers coming. We have vendors that are coming and some food trucks. So, yeah, we have speakers. So while all of our stuff is free, there is going to be some stuff for sale with the vendors and the food, obviously. So if you want to buy something to remember it by, we do have that too.
Oh, we'll have t-shirts too.
Oh, yes, and we will have t-shirts made. Well, if that's everything we want to talk about MiniCon, we can move on to our book.
Yes.
Okay, I read this book, like, physically. I read the physical book. So through the whole thing, I pronounced his first name as Ove, A Man Called Ove. After reading it, I Googled how to pronounce his name. And it was not at all how I read it. It's similar like when you first, like, I know me personally, when I first read Harry Potter, Hermione's name was not Hermione.
Yeah.
I can't
What'd you call her?
I can't remember.
Hermione.
Hermione.
I want to say that. Yeah, I want to say that mine was like something similar. To
Yeah. It's like I've seen people say, people who read physical books know how to spell names, but the people who listen know how to pronounce them. Yeah. And I actually read that one and didn't listen, so. He's Ove, and so when I'm talking about this book, if I say Ove, we're talking about the same person.
Yeah, it's Oovuh, isn't it?
Oovuh, yeah.
Oovuh.
See, that's what, now I've heard it, I'm gonna probably swap from
We are
like
so
3 different
sorry,
ways.
Mr. Backman, that we have butchered your character's name. Anyways, on to this book.
So what did we all think of it first? Is probably the good place to start.
I love this book. I love it so much.
I really loved it. I listened to it over a year ago, and I was going to take the movie home last night and watch it, so I'd be able to talk more about it and remember more, and I left it on my desk. So I'm going from an older memory, so bear with me.
I absolutely loved it as well.
I gave it 5 stars, but I do not like crying, so I begrudgingly read this at Carla's behest. She gave me kind of a heads up, so it made it a little bit better, but I definitely cried all the way to work this morning, and whenever I finished the last 8 minutes here in the building. It was good. Yeah. I gave it 5 stars.
The last chunk. Whew. Yeah. There you go. But it was very good. It was very good.
Yeah, definitely as a warning. If you don't like crying, maybe don't read it, but it's
worth it.
So
worth it.
Good.
Yeah, it's worth it. Okay, so Mama, which version of the movie were you going to watch? There's
A Man Called Ove, the one with Tom Hanks.
Okay, I tried to watch that last night, and it kind of butchers his character a bit, and it made me angry, and I stopped watching it.
No!
Dang.
Bummer.
Can't even be surprised, though.
Okay, just to give you like a brief thing, just as an example, right? Mm-hmm. Oovuh doesn't do things like poorly, right? But you know how in the beginning of the book, I'm gonna spoil the first few pages of the book. He tries to hang himself, right? And the rope breaks, and that's the reason why he can't do it. But in the movie, it's because the hook falls out of the ceiling.
I thought that's what happened in...
No, the rope snaps. You think Oovuh would not use the correct kind of hook?
Yeah, I remember him talking about
this. Was like
he talked about the hook and how it needed to be, strong enough to hold him, and also he had to make sure he had to find the right spot in his ceiling.
Okay, maybe that's what I remember. Like I said, it's been over a year since I listened to it, but I know it was a failure.
It was a failure, yeah.
During the start of the book, you're probably going to hate this old man. Just as, like a warning. Like when I first started reading it, I was like, man, this guy is awful. He's such a grouch. But like by the end of the book, you're like, I love him and I would die for him.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of him at first, but man, I hated that couple with the dog.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, they were the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the boyfriend wasn't bad. It was just his girlfriend who was just a waste of space. She was miserable.
Yeah.
But I personally loved Oovuh from the very beginning because I felt like I related to him.
Because you're also a grumpy old man.
Honestly, yeah. I think I'm a grumpy old man as well, and that might be my issue.
It reminded me so much of Up in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
I could see that. Yeah. Oh my God, he made me laugh so much when his neighbor's trying to back up that car, and he's like, "What are you doing?" That cracked me up. I loved it.
He had the perfect neighbors for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ones who forced him into things.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have to do this. And he's like, I guess so.
I loved it so much.
He was such a great guy. I loved him.
Do I think it was the best book of I've ever read? No. But it was a really good book.
Yeah.
And I was really happy that it won.
Yeah.
Our book challenge.
I was very worried about that. Because it came up against, that in what was it, 4 Winds?
Yeah.
And I've never read Kristen Hanna. But I also don't read popular books usually because I'm usually disappointed by them. Mm-hmm. So for that one to lose to
Oovuh.
Whatever his name is, darling old man, made me happy.
Yeah, no, I think if 4 Winds had won, I think I would have protested.
I think I would have would have read the synopsis of it and be like, oh yeah.
That's all you get.
Okay, so just to like briefly sidetrack, this Four Winds book, is this like something that is popular in the same way like Verity and ACOTAR is popular? Which are probably trash books.
Yeah. ACOTAR
Okay.
is trash.
Okay.
Not to get,
I've never read Verity.
Don't get so political here, guys. Verity's terrible.
You're going to have to censor yourself, Zachary.
I'll bleep it out. Don't worry. No to Zach.
That's great.
I don't know. I think I gave it like 3 stars, but I still didn't like that book because it was just the only redeeming quality was the ending. Anyway, but back to A Man Called Ove. Do we want to go over like what the general plot was?
I'm worried about saying too much.
Yeah.
Well, we can do like a spoiler thing because presumably people have read the book, right? At this point, because we told them last week we were talking about it.
True.
That's true.
fair.
And the movie just came out, so I could see
And the
people
movie just came
wanting
out.
to read it after seeing the movie or before seeing it. So yeah, spoiler alert. We may ruin something for you.
So if you haven't read it yet, stop here and then come back after you have.
Exactly.
What was your first clue that he was not really a bad person?
Honestly, from the get-go,
Really?
I loved him from the start. For some reason, I just know that grumpy old men are...
I think that when he, like right at the beginning when he tried to help his neighbors park the thing, like he was grouchy about it, but he was willing to get in there and back it up.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, okay, he's done. He's tired of life, you know?
I think mine was when he held the cat.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the cat. I love the cat.
I think that the thing that told me is when he was when he saved the dude's kid from the burning building in his like
true.
underwear, right?
That's
I mean
true.
that was fairly
That was
early on
major.
in the book. I'm pretty
Was
sure.
it early on in the book?
That was like a third of the way through, I'm wanting to say. I mean, he didn't have the cat until like pretty late in the book.
That's what I thought. He didn't really bond with the cat until later.
Mama just hated
In
him.
the beginning,
He kept on
Nah.
shooing him away.
Mhm.
but he also wouldn't let him get hurt.
He
Oh,
wouldn't.
yeah,
He wouldn't
fair.
let that dog mess with
Yeah.
it. And
Well,
then,
yeah, but that seemed more out of spite for the dog.
Yeah.
which is hilarious. Him and that dog. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
My favorite part with that was when he wanted to electrify his,
Well, I
what
was
was it,
actually
his
hoping he would
steps or
do it.
something.
Yeah, the sidewalk.
That's because you're a bad person, mother.
I know it, but I was aggravated with that couple and that yappy little dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also loved, especially in that part, whenever he, it said basically that the cat looked at him like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And the cat is the reason he didn't do it. I love it.
So funny. I thought his neighbor who was allergic to cats and snuggled the cat to keep it warm.
That's me.
I was like, "Aw, that's sweet." He was like, "What are you doing?" And then
I
he
was
had to
surprised-
drive him to the hospital.
Yeah, going to the hospital for that. I was like, what? Dang, he must be super allergic. Either that or, what was her name? Oh, I can't even remember.
His neighbor.
Yeah, his neighbor.
Parvana?
Parvana, thank you. Yeah. I kept wanting to say Pavitra, it's a coworker. Anyway, her just like, she was the best.
And the fact that he taught her how to drive, I thought that was so
Yeah.
sweet. He's like, you're pregnant and you don't have a driver's license.
Did anyone else notice or feel like they noticed that she knew he was trying the whole
Mhm.
time?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. And she was like, nope, not today.
No, you're needed.
I think that's definitely the reason why she kept coming over and bugging him. It was not because, she actually needed help a good chunk of the time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I felt like she's probably a very independent woman, I would think. Because that's just kind of the vibe I got from her, especially with who she was married to.
Yeah.
That poor man was like helpless.
He was great. I loved him.
There
He
really
was
wasn't
so cheery.
anybody that I didn't love, except for the obvious people that you don't like in the books. But for the most part, I loved all of the characters.
Yep, they're good.
Everybody that he interacted with.
I like
Mhm.
that she talked to his wife.
Mhm.
She went to the grave and
Oh
said,
my gosh.
"Yeah, I'll take care of him. I got
This
this."
is too fresh.
Too
Too fresh. It was just this morning.
When he was like talking about taking care of her flowers and stuff like that, like at the beginning of the book, I didn't realize she was gone. I was like, well, is she dead?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's going on? You know?
Yeah, I thought she was in a coma at first, but then
You see,
like
I thought something like that too. And then when he went to her grave, I was like, oh, I'm not prepared.
See, I think after like maybe the second or third time that he talked to her and then it was said that she didn't reply, I was like, oh no, I don't think that she's here anymore. And so I was like, I was prepared for it, but it still hurt a lot. Like the further we got in. Yeah.
Yeah, I called it right before they revealed that she was actually dead. I was like, wait a second, it sounds like she's probably gone. And then he touches her gravestone. I was like, oh, well, that's booty. I guess it makes sense, though. I did like how he went there all the time to A, change out her flowers, and B, just talk to her about whatever updates there were. It was pretty fun, like little interludes in there. Also, oh man, what about his relationship with, what was his name, Runa? Oh my gosh.
Is that his neighbor,
old
like
friend?
his best friend? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, his best friend, neighbor.
Frenemy.
And they had the coup
Which
d'etat.
was funny.
Oh gosh. Sob and Volvo.
That was so funny.
Kills me.
Oh, but no, he got a BMW there at the end.
Yes, and that was the
man.
biggest reason.
Oh my god. Okay, actually, no, this is a thing in the stupid movie. They've got him freaking driving a Chevy.
No.
How?
Yeah. I mean, it's set in the U.S. It makes some sense, but he's driving a Chevy. It's just miserable.
So it's like a Chevy Ford thing instead of a...
It's almost certainly going to be a Chevy Ford thing. I didn't finish the movie. It was too much for
See,
me.
I really wanted to watch that. I was so excited about watching that. And I was going to actually buy or rent it. I think rent it last night on Amazon. And see, because Savannah watched it, our other friend.
Yeah.
And she said it was pretty good.
It probably is if you haven't read the book.
She has read the book.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
I'm
know.
going to have to watch it. I'm just going to have
Yeah,
to
I'm going to watch it and then we can discuss about it. But
I'd watch it, but I didn't like it very much. And there's also a different one, A Man Called Ove.
yeah, that
Which
was
is the
made in
Swedish
2015.
That one might be
watch
better.
that
I don't
one.
know.
Because I saw it advertised on something.
I think she had to read it, though. I think there was subtitles.
I watch everything on subtitles anyway, so that's fine with me.
Yeah. Ditto.
I mean, where did I see that? I think maybe it was HBO Max or something it was on. Because I think they put it out because the other one was out. I don't know.
I bet you that one's better because it's probably more true to the story and they didn't change a bunch of dumb stuff.
Probably. I'll watch that one too. I'll take one for the team. Watch both.
Oh, actually, there is one kind of fun thing. Have you guys seen The Umbrella Academy?
Yes.
Okay, Hazel is in it. One of the people from the commission. You got Hazel and Cha-Cha.
Oh!
Hazel's
okay.
the guy with the old lady.
Yeah. He's in A Man Called Ove?
Yep.
Who's he play?
Jimmy.
Oh, that's the one allergic to cats, isn't it?
The one allergic to cats, yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a good one. They did good with that.
It says, actually, that you can get it in Amazon Prime.
What, the Swedish one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe that's where I saw it because I was looking up the other one. I don't know.
It's also on Tubi, Plex, Fubo TV. You can get it for $1.99 on YouTube or Google Play.
For real, though, who uses Tubi?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Tubi real, I don't.
Nailed it.
Okay, so what else about this book did we like, dislike? Is there anything you didn't like about the book? Because I was hard-pressed to think of anything I didn't like about this book. I thought it was fantastic.
The feels.
I did not like the ending, but I understood the ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I think him living for 4 years after his wife was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because, I
just wanted a happy ending, okay? I just wanted happiness.
It happened in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean,
It did happen in a good way.
so I really love the book. I did. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I definitely pushed for people to read it. We had my grandma read it. Like,
Yeah.
I checked it out from the library and was like, here you go. Read this. She liked it. She liked it too, yeah.
I gotta say, that cat, best behaved cat ever.
For
Oh, he
real.
was-
It just followed him around all the time, rode his car.
Reminds me of my old cat Oreo. He was essentially a dog in a cat's body. And
See,
that's-
we had one, Clefairy. He was
Yeah.
like that. Love that cat. He would, like, run to the car to greet us, and then he never used the bathroom inside. He'd always, like, asked to be let out to go to the bathroom. Like, he was a great cat, so.
I have idiots, but I love them.
I mean, I don't have a cat like that now. But.
Okay, so what are we doing next week?
Nonfiction.
Yeah,
we're going to highlight a nonfiction book. Not sure which one yet, since that seems to be some of my favorites.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have a few different things that we could talk about, and we don't know which one we're going to do.
Could be The Secret Life of Trees, could be Bigfoot. You never know.
Never know.
Mothman.
Ooh,
nonfiction. This one. Is the nonfiction one next week.
These are nonfiction. It's pushing the edge.
Nonfiction.
Pushing the edge.
Zach's not a believer.
Well,
which is insane since he lives out where Bigfoot's at.
I know. Exactly. I know.
He hasn't, until he comes into my yard, he's probably not there.
Don't invite him.
You live in the city. That's probably not going to happen.
I got a house. A bear come and took my trash that one time.
Yeah, well.
How do you know it was a bear?
Could be
maybe
Bigfoot.
It was a Bigfoot.
I feel like Bigfoot would have been a little bit more deft with, not knocking over the trash can.
Maybe
possibly.
he didn't like you and was like, you know what?
He's like, screw this guy. Smack. That's what Bigfoot sounds like, by the way.
He's like, he doesn't believe in me. We're going to tear up his trash can.
Revenge.
Okay, so next week is the nonfiction. Any closing thoughts or anything?
Just that everybody should read that book.
Yep. And join us next week for nonfiction.
Nonfiction, reading room ruffian style.
It might get loud.
I think we're ready to go. So thank you for listening to Reading Room Ruffians. And remember, only the best libraries have librarians who don't shush you.